Alright, on the last tying video I did on the fur-collared nymph emerger, I did a dubbing loop for the collar on that, and I just wanted to real quick do a short video on focusing on that dubbing loop so that you can see how that works without the rest of the fly in the way. So I've got the thread set up on a bare hook here, and all we're going to do on this is the loop so that you can see how that's supposed to work. So basically how this works is you're going to take your thread and you're going to use some sort of a loop tool. It can be a dubbing spinner, it can be a dubbing twister. You'll see them marketed a lot of different ways. It can be a paper clip bent out, just something to hold that loop. And we're just going to take that and we're going to catch that tool. A lot of times you can use this elbow to hold that loop open, but on this particular on this particular loop, it's not going to be a big enough dubbing loop that we're going to need it. So we're just going to take a quick simple loop. You can see how that thread is looped over the tool there. And then we're going to come back to the hook itself and we're going to anchor that thread on the hook. And then in order to make that loop a little easier to close and hold the materials, we're just going to take a couple of quick turns around the top of that loop to just close the top of the loop up. Then we're going to bring our thread up in our bobbin far enough that it's going to be out of the way of what we're doing. And what we have now is we have our tool holding a loop of thread, and we're going to slide our materials into that loop of thread, and that's what's going to be the base for our dubbing loop. So we're just going to let that hang for just a second, and we're going to go find our materials. Okay, we're just going to take a little bit of pine squirrel and we're going to trim it off of the hide so that it looks about like that. And we're going to try to keep that as even as possible. And we're just going to take that in our other hand, use our finger to open our dubbing loop, and then we're just going to slide that into the dubbing loop like that. Kind of tap that in so that we get most of those hairs even, and there we go, nice and even. What we're going to do now is we're just going to give that dubbing loop a twist. And as we twist that dubbing loop, you can see what those hairs are doing. You can see that they're trying to form a brush. This is actually the way that chenille is made as well. Just twist that up. And we're going to twist that until we have that tight enough that those hairs aren't going to come out when we pull on them. And that's going to hold those in. And then once you have that dubbing brush made, you can either take it off the twister and hold it with a pair of hackle pliers, or you can just, in this case, I like to just use the twister itself as that tool. And you can go ahead and wind that loop onto your hook. And as that material starts to go on there, you can just keep teasing it back so that each wrap adds a little more to it. And then you've got your collar tied. You can just come back with your thread once you get to the end of that collar and just tie down the tag end of that dubbing loop with your thread. Trim that off, and then you're ready to finish the rest of your fly, whatever you're going to do. And then you've got your nice little soft hackle collar there. So fairly simple, fairly easy, and can come in very handy on several different kinds of flies.